Buddy. Hello, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Let's play chess. Alright. We're going to play a game in 5 to start off. Let's get some nice blitz games in here. Alright. So, yeah, as we can see, not much luck on the 5-minute games today. I played these two games. Yes, they're here. Alright. These two games were better. I felt like I was playing stronger and I kind of had more command of the game. Uh, review. We'll review. We'll let the computer review both of them, and then depending on what I feel about the review, I'm gonna choose to review at least one of them as me the with the computer's review as aid, as I usually do. In this most recent game, as not doesn't make for a good review because there was a game going then that my opponent dropped the queen, so I don't let that be. I'll let that be how it is. I'll let that be how it is. This game was tough. I might review this game. I know I had board. I had mates here and there. My opponent stuck on and played out to the very finish and won the game as a result. I'm slowly becoming aware that that's sometimes how you do it. Let's see, my accuracy wasn't as well, and I thought for sure I had in here, or even here. Well, you know what it looks like? The game was well contested till move 13, sort of a medium break, and then I dropped my bishop on h4 just cleanly, just straight up dropped it. So it's good to review this. Now I know it wasn't really all that close. I wasn't going to enforce checkmate in 5 or 4 or 3. I played on. There's some, I can certainly justify playing on here. We have an attack going on against the opponent's king. It's not really quite working. I had this opportunity after my opponent played e takes f5, and I missed it. So I could have had my minor piece back and been doing just fine. Basically, even game. All right, so that was that game. And these two games, we're gonna take a look at this one. Remind myself what happened. I was white. Yes. Okay, this is a good one. This is a good one. And let's see if this is another one. I'm probably not going to review both because I'm exhausted. So somehow I won in some sort of tactic. I'm not like all too thrilled about this. What I would note though is that black plays on despite being a piece down, and that seems to be a theme. My opponent in that one game was actually turned out not gonna be checkmated, but he hung on and won, and was actually winning on the board for almost the entire game. So I kept going with a piece down, and things ended up to work out my way here. I think maybe my opponent got a little bit ahead of himself with rook to c1 check, step out of the way, and then to follow up with the king loses the bishop. All right, now this game was fun. This particular game, I had fun playing. I won, so that definitely helps. e4, c4, we got a fiend shadowed structure on the queen side, and white is just hogging up as much center as there can be. Uh, I'm playing white here. I played pawn to h5. This early pawn storm has been a fun adventure, and here it just clicked. We have the bishop. The bishop's been moved once and then twice already back to the starting square. And not only that, black has made a move for the bishop to get to g7 in the first place. So to push that bishop back to the start with h6 here is real good for white. We're supporting the attacking pawn with a rook, and we're supporting the attacking pawn with a bishop. This is a strong stake right here in black's heart, or black's king side, or whatever you want to call this, on black's king side, to own the square that black usually castles directly behind is good. And all this before move 9. So I want to keep up that pressure. I'm still holding on to this bishop strongly with these two pieces. We add a pin against the knight, which is, this game was, a lot of this game was about pressure. Strong pressure all around. The knight is pinned. That's another type of pressure. Now this makes the story of the bishop even worse. No capturing on h6 because, like we said, the pawn's defended. No moves to g7 because the pawn covers it. No moves to e7 or beyond because black's own piece blocks it, and blocks it while being pinned to his queen nonetheless. This is a circus of intangibles. No, this is the circus of intangibles. Check Bioshock for the correct with. Check Bioshock if you're interested about that. Okay, white's off to an excellent start here. The queen breaks the pin. Good. This was smart. And I think bishop f6 is still smart, showing that at very least white is going to break up black's chance to castle on the king side for good. Make this rook move, and there will be no castling on the king side in black's future in this particular game. c4 takes d5. There's probably calculations going on behind this, but also, yeah, the best move to recapture with the pawn could lead to a lot of things, and I think e5 is strong here. Right? This extremely powerful bishop is now protected by a pawn that's protected by a pawn that's protected by a queen, and that the queen is also protected. Combos don't work like that, but in case you were wondering. Yeah, so this bishop on f6 is very strong. Knight f3. We want to be very sure about d4 and about e5. So knight f3 also just development. And if white's gonna castle this game, it would probably be to the king side. Memory serves me that it ends up being to the queen side, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure about that, but king side makes sense. You know, the h pawn is missing, and other than that, king side castle looks strong. Just the missing h pawn. Knight f5. It's a good move. We note too, though, that black's king is stuck in the center for the time being, at least. So bishop b5. Torch doesn't like this move. Let's see if we can figure out why before having Torch tell us. Bishop b5. I think simply castles is strong. So then that relinquishes our control of h6, but have we maybe already lost that battle due to the two minor pieces bearing down on h6. Either that, or maybe there was a move to save our hold over h6, perhaps queen d2. So continuing to guard enough times. d4 is being attacked twice. This is I'm not the only one playing strong chess here. My opponent is attacking this twice and attacking h6 twice. The only move that covers both, holding on to the d4 pawn and providing additional support to h6, is queen d2. I say queen d2 is the move here, folks. Let's see what Torch directs us. How Torch directs us. Queen d2 is close. There's g4 is the sharpest and best move, but queen d2 and queen d3 are in the hunt, so to speak. I would say probably queen d2 makes more for a direct way of meeting black's threats. I played bishop to b5. Doesn't answer those threats, and I'm probably going to lose something for it here. Bishop to e7. This is still on the backs of bishop to b5. I play g4 now after that, as it first presented itself, but now it's still a good option for white. We're going to kick that knight. I think here white will be able to keep equal material, but have a very strong, very aggressive presence all over the board. We look at white's pieces, what they're doing right now. This pawn on f7 is going to earn white a tempo of initiative. Where's this bishop going? Is he going to clog black's back rank? Is he going to pin the knight on c3? However we look at this board, we want to see that this is mostly about space. This domination of I don't count those. Look at this domination of space. 3, 6, 9. Damn. If compared to black has just this one unit of space here. So white is really controlling space. King safety is pretty iffy actually on both sides. Mobility, white is more mobile by a mild to moderate amount. No, I would say that actually that white's moderately more mobile. No mild about it, because we just look at the quality of white's pieces. These guys are active. Material is even. Clock shows that my opponent has a strong lead on the clock. About 5 minutes to about 9 minutes. So let's see. Whatever that works out to. 4 minutes and 36 cents. Wait. Four minutes and 46 seconds. No, that's not right. 3 minutes and 46 seconds. My opponent has 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Advantage on the clock. And like I said, initiative. White has most definitely the initiative. It's black's turn to move, but when black moves, it's going to be some other aggressive move to follow up all these other to follow up quite a few aggressive moves before it, frankly. So bishop to b4 makes the most sense to me, and I'm playing queen to a4 to make a battery, and maybe black starts to make some inroads here against white's lead. Look at this pawn chain. and supporting solo pawn. These guys are strong. This pin is very strong. Uh, is white in the center? Is white castling kingside? Look at all the squares white's king can move. It's stay in the center. Can move normally to F1 or D1. We won't worry about this second rank, or definitely not beyond. So center, F1, D1, C1 by queenside castles, G1 by kingside castles. How and then yes, also these moves that we said we weren't gonna visit, but we'll visit here. This king is like the Houdini of chess kings. We don't know where he's gonna go. Black rather. Black doesn't know where I'm going to go. It's hard to attack a target like that. Pawn takes, or sorry, bishop takes c6. I think we're just looking for some liquidation as white here. The resulting board, again, white has no material advantage, but just the intangibles here are so strongly in white's hands that I agree with. Am I using torch? Yeah, I agree with torch 4 that white is doing extremely well despite having material equality. Knight to g5. Knight takes h7. Now some of that extremely well intangible stuff is becoming is materializing in a material lead. Rook h8. There's not much else that black can do when you just can't get a piece through anywhere along this pawn chain. Then they're all protecting each other. We're all protected, connected. New York telephone. King b7 is a bit strange, but it's just again out of want of what other move can black muster. h7, close down on the h8 rook. This rook is mostly imprisoned here on h8. He moves off of h8, and h7, pawn to h8 equals queen. I'll capture to get rid of the queen, but I still win a major piece with rook takes h8, and then I'll enforce victory from then on. So since some of this is actually what happened in the game, I'll move on a bit ahead. We'll just note that these moves are calculated correctly mostly, and one way to control things when one pawn isn't quite gonna be able to be promoted is to create another promote threat. I did that on the F file while also making sure that my knight can't be pinned to my king because the pawn is controlling e8. That was that was a big deal. That was part of that calculation when I noticed that this might work. Then we queen. We're going to lose a pawn and a knight for a rook, but remember, in material ways, that's still progress, but also the h-pawn can queen be lost, and when we regain material on h8, white is now ahead. A lot of material. 2 rooks to a bishop and a pawn. And so white enforces this victory. The sacrifice on f5 would probably better have been done. If this was a game where I had to for my life, I would have probably here on move 35, white should probably liquidate this bishop immediately. I think I did so, but after a wait of a move or two. So, we got the win. Woo! All right, we're winding down here, folks. I'll be signing off pretty soon. Played the game to finish against um, the computer on maximum, and look at the analysis thereafter, and that'll be it for this session today. What's this? It's not reviewing it. Here we go. Gary Kasparov says, steady effort pays off, even if not always in an immediate, tangible way. I like that. That's good. All right. This is overall a strong game. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Have a great night. Have a great night.